It has been, well, it feels like ages. It's really only been like 2 weeks, but it feels like ages since I've uploaded any other kind of video. So I decided to come in here and try to film this real quick, give you guys kind of like an update of what's going on with everything that we got here at the shop besides this mess, and the projects that I'm working on. And figured I'd give you guys a bit of an explanation of why things are like so crazy at the moment, even though I'm not going to school. At least, you know, I've got a little over 500 subscribers now, so you guys I owe you guys somewhat of an explanation of what exactly is going on. So first off and foremost, how are y'all doing? Hope everybody's doing good and having a great start to this new year. I know I've put out some other videos and I haven't said anything like that before in this new year already, but so I'm starting now. We're starting fresh. Hopefully you guys are having a great year so far. Nothing crazy has happened. And so let's get right into it. Let me explain to you. Well, okay, before I show you guys what's going on here. So Tommy's motor, if you've been watching, that's the 262 4.3 liter that I've been working on. That motor is at the machine shop right now. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys saw the videos and probably looked at a lot of the stuff, and you're like, man, like, this guy really shouldn't be assembling that motor like that, and he really should do this, and he really should do that. Now, I always state in all my videos, I don't claim to know it all. If anything, I know very little compared to a lot of these guys that have been doing this forever, which is why I always ask other mechanics and other more experienced people for advice or for help, and I ask some questions, and I try to absorb as much information as I possibly can, because I want to get as precise and as good with my engine building and everything else. I mean, obviously there's always going to be somebody better than you, but I would like to be one of the best engine builders at some point in time. Is that my career? Is that what I'm choosing to do with my life? No, it's basically a hobby. But if it turns into something, then hey, so be it. But my point is, if anybody comes to me and they ask me to do something for them, they ask me to help build a motor for them, or whatever the case may be, I want to be as efficient and as precise as possible with their motors. I don't want to have any bad mouthing. I don't want to let anybody down. I don't want any of that. I want nothing but good words to come from the service that I provide. Now, so like I said, with Tommy's motor, when I first arrived over there, I told Tommy, I looked at those cylinder walls and I said, hey Tommy, there's a big lip here. This should really go to the machine shop and get bored over, and we should get new pistons. If anything, we can go 40 over. I'm sure you guys remember in the last video where I said, yeah, that I honed it, and yeah, it should go to the machine shop, but that Tommy didn't want to put that much money into it. Well, what ended up happening was he ended up getting the heads done. Some of you guys commented in the video with the heads and stuff like that, and one person in particular gave me a bunch of different good options. I ended up taking it to the machine shop. They ended up pulling those pins out, and they ended up studding the thing. So those heads are brand new. So that was kind of like what started his whole mindset change. The second thing was, when I went to put the crank in, you guys saw in a video that as I was putting my fingernail across it, it picked up on a little lip that was on one of the main bearing journals. And I told Tommy, I really don't recommend you do this, because the best way I could describe this is like slapping a set of pads on a really like warped brake rotor. You do that, as soon as you hit the brakes, those brake pads are no good. It's the same concept. You sit there and you go ahead and go through with that build. What's gonna end up happening is, as soon as you turn that motor over, those bearings are shot. There was no point in doing any of it. So what he ended up doing was, he ended up saying, okay, go ahead, take it to the machine shop. So I took it to the machine shop. The machinist went ahead and cut the crank down. He told me, make sure you get bearings that are 10/1000ths over. Over. So I ended up measuring clearances. Everything was money. I think I might have some video of that. I'm not 100% sure. So what ended up happening was, after Tommy saw how smooth that was going, I started gapping the piston rings. The service limit on those piston rings is actually 31 thousandths. That's the service limit, so that's the maximum you can be. He was at 45 1,000. So once he saw that the piston ring gap was so out of whack, he was like, you know what? Let's just go ahead and take the block down there, see what happens. When I took the block down there, the machinist actually kind of scared me because he told me that that block was done. He said that I should probably source another block. And the problem is that because that block is an 85, it has the slot for the mechanical fuel pump, which he is still running. So we kind of looked over those options. It was like $1,500 to get another short block. And I believe the majority of them were for marine applications. I don't know how that works compared to like a regular car motor. But so what the machinist said, what he said is, we're going to go ahead and do it 60 over. Go ahead and get the new pistons and get everything. And we'll go ahead and bore it over 60 over. And then you can go ahead and continue assembling it. So that's where we're at right now. So the block is at that machine shop. It's getting bored 60 over. I got the new pistons, the new rings, everything ready to go. As well as new cam bearings and freeze plugs, because the freeze plugs got punched out because he dipped the block in some type of solvent over there, and then that's why I need to change out the cam bearings, because he was saying that once the block gets submerged in that stuff, the cam bearings are no longer any good. So yeah, so that's where we're at with Tommy. Now, that thing. So this is where we're at with that thing. I got all the majority of the parts and the components and stuff here. Head is right there chilling. Yes, this is a mess. This is for another project. I'm going to explain a little bit about that here in a second. Transmission is right there back open. I'll explain that in a second. This is for my car. Completely different thing. And yeah, things are a mess. That's one of the reasons why I'm here tonight, is I need to get all these instruments and tools and stuff back in their cases and get everything kind of organized. Get this stuff back in under here. This is the neighbor. Every time the neighbor comes over here and asking for stuff, I start yanking stuff out, and it's a mess everywhere. So Mike, if you're watching this, it's all your fault. But so basically, Gabriel's motor. This is my first time showing it on video. I was really trying really hard to not show this until it was completely done, because of the color. So Gabriel told me that he wanted something really nice done to the block, and he gave me basically complete rights to choose whatever color that I wanted. The only thing he said was that he wanted it to look really good with the wrinkle red valve cover. So I decided to go with my favorite color, which is the cast iron color. And that's where we're at right now. And then, so this thing has like bearings and everything in it. And I can't really, let me see. Yeah, there's already a piston in there, so I can't really spin it too much. But you see how smooth that spins? So this is actually clearanced out to 2 1,000s. This thing has been such a pain in my ass these past like 3 weeks. So this block got bored over 8 to 81.5 because the cylinders were ovaled out. There's new Wisco pistons that are going in here on the I-beam rods. 81.5. This crankshaft, for whatever reason, would not measure to the clearances that I needed to measure to. It was way too tight. I don't blame the crankshaft. I blame the block and combination of main caps, because for whatever reason, no matter what crankshaft I measured the main bearings off of, I kept getting the exact same clearance, and it was 1 1,000. I wanted at least 2 1,000s. I ideally wanted 2.5 1,000s, but 2 1,000s is good enough. Eventually it'll wear and you'll get a little more clearance in there. So 2 1,000s is good enough, but I could not get that. I did undersized bearings. Went way too far. I did 3 different sets of standard bearings. Every single one gave me the same measurement. So what I ended up having to do was, I ended up having to get a set of the King X bearings. The King X bearings basically give you half of a 1,000th of clearance on each side. So each bearing is half of a 1,000, or 5 10,000ths thinner than your standard bearings. So you get an extra 1 1,000th of clearance. So with that, I was able to get exactly 2 1,000ths, and you see how butter that spins. So this is getting assembled right now, And the whole reason that I'm here, like I said, is to clean up all this crap. I need to get all of this away, start getting rid of some of these boxes, move some stuff around just to make some room in here, because once everything starts to get cluttered, it just really starts to bother me and I can't work. Yeah, so this, hopefully I get some time today after cleaning, and I want to finish dropping these pistons in and be almost done with that. Now what else? Transmission is right there because I put the M factory diff in, and for whatever reason when I put the diff it doesn't spin, or when I put the cover it doesn't spin, so I need to clearance that out, figure that out. That's gonna be after the long block is complete. Now this thing right here, this is a whole nother crazy thing. I don't really think I'm ever gonna feature this car on the channel just because I want to respect the person's privacy. It's kind of like one of those builds that's kind of like a little crazy, and I would love to show it to you guys, but it's maybe once it's done and we get it running, he might let me feature it. We could do a walk around and talk about it, but right now I kind of want to keep this project under wraps. The only thing I'm going to say is that it was a AEM setup that got converted to FORGED. So now he's got a FORGED 450 on there. The person who wired it up did a complete hack job. I'm not going to mention any names. I'm not going to say who it was. Some of the people watching this video know who that is. But so it was a complete hack job. So what we're going to be doing with that now is I'm going to go ahead and plug it up with, or I'm going to connect everything. But so what I ended up getting was, see if I can find it somewhere. Should be in the box with it, I believe. Yeah, right here. So we're going to be using these Dutch connectors. Oh, there goes one of them. And so what we're going to end up doing is, so these have 31 pins. There's 30 pins total in the whole harness. 31 pins, male, female. I'm going to go ahead and basically terminate all of these to this thing. And then we're just going to go ahead and drill a hole in the firewall. And he's just going to have a way to be able to take the harness off of there. Because once I complete this harness, basically the dash and everything would have to come out for me to get it back in. So that's how that's going to work. And then I actually had to order some pins from FORGED because for whatever reason, that harness was missing one of the injector pins. So I went ahead and ordered a few extra just to be on the safe side and make sure that we're covered. But, so yeah, guys, so that's pretty much the update. The other things that are going on is it's that time of year, so we're getting ready for Fuel Fest. If you guys remember last year, the series that I filmed with Gabriel's car with this same exact car right here to go to the show. Unfortunately, I can't take her this year. I really wanted to. I was really crunching to get it done, but I guess at Fuel Fest now, when you register your car, you have to have a license plate and insurance and all this other stuff. And this car is not going to get registered in the state of Florida because once this car is done, it's moving to the owner's home in Texas. So basically what's going to happen now is if you guys see that carpet that's chilling right there that I got a while ago from the junkyard, that's going to get painted. And then I have a set of seats and some straps and a harness bar and a bunch of stuff that's coming for the red car, including that turbo that you guys saw back there. That's going to get installed. All that stuff needs to get done for Fuel Fest. So it's crunch time over here. And we're trying to clear up some room, get some of these things out the way, and also be sure to be at Fuel Fest. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to get to cleaning. If I get to working on this block tonight, I'll go ahead and film that and I'll show it to you guys. If not, I'll just go ahead and upload this video how it is. It's not going to be an amazing video, but at least you guys get an update. You get to see exactly what's going on, what we're dealing with, and it's better than nothing, right? If you guys have any other questions, don't forget, you guys can always comment below. In fact, I would like it if you guys comment below. I would like to engage a lot of you guys. There are some people here that have reached out to me on Instagram, and we have awesome conversations on Instagram, as well as I've made a ton of new friends here in New York, in New Jersey, and Cali, pretty much all over the US, like a lot of like the main hub cities. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty awesome that I get to make that connection with a lot of you guys. And now when I go and travel to those places, I know people there, so I don't have to be a loner. So that's awesome too. But yeah, so let me get the cleaning and we'll pick back up here in a second. Yeah, I'll be back. All right, so welcome back, my beautiful peoples. So I left you guys 2 days ago, basically saying that I didn't know if I was gonna leave the video where I was at, or if I was gonna film a little something else. I didn't feel like ending the video like that without anything getting done. So I guess what you guys are gonna watch me do is I wouldn't say that you're gonna watch me do it, but I'm gonna go ahead and finish assembling the short block. Mainly because I'm trying to get that assembled and done so I can hop on my car, and the area is a lot cleaner, so I feel way better about getting some work done. Now Shane was in here. Let me show you what he was working on. So I wasn't able to make it here last night. I was out hanging out. So while I was doing that, Shane was here doing this. So he's actually measuring the stretch on these bolts, and I believe he got the stretch done on this one. He still has to do the rest of them though. So he's just getting familiar with this whole process, as am I. So it's taking him a little bit, but you know, it's definitely a tedious and long process. I already did that for all of these. I put them on the vise, stretched them, checked them, did all that stuff. That's why I got these here. These are like the last two that I did. So I wrote like a number 1 there and a number 4 here, so I wouldn't remember which rod they went to. And then also the other thing that I wanted to do before I forget, where's my turbo at? My new turbo is somewhere around here. Oh, right here, my new Garrett turbo. So I ordered some fittings from Amazon. I'm gonna go get them, see if they fit. If they fit, then we'll be able to throw that turbo on this weekend. All right, and so none of those fit. So this one is smaller than the one that I ordered, the thread going in there. What I'm gonna have to do is I'm just gonna have to take this turbo to like Ace or something and see if I can get a conversion fitting for that. And then this one is actually, so this is a smaller one, this is a bigger one, and then this one's even bigger. So this one, that's quarter MPT, that won't go in there at all. So I'm assuming that maybe that could be like half MPT or maybe 7/16. I'm not sure. But regardless of the fact, see, that's way too small too. That's 6 AN. That's 6 AN. So yeah, so I'm just gonna have to take this to like Ace or something, and even if I don't find the stuff that I need there, at least get it measured out so I know what sizes I'm dealing with here. But yeah, so the next thing that I need to do is in the process of installing pistons here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get myself situated, and we're gonna go ahead and get that started. Make sure that when you're doing this, you douse your pistons. You can never use too much oil. So I like to douse the pistons, get it all over my gloves, and then like take some of this oil that's on the piston and just let it run in the cylinder, lubricate the cylinder really well. And also the sleeve that you're going to be using to install your pistons, make sure that the inside of this is lubricated really well as well. Just a word of advice, in case it is like one of your guys' first times or whatever, you guys are approaching like an attempt on trying to assemble an engine. You might see some videos out there where people are using like hammers and stuff. They're using the back of a hammer to kind of like bang this thing in. Don't do that. Don't use a hammer, because what end up happening is if you end up not pushing it in just right, like if you don't have this tight enough, and a ring decides to slip out of the bottom, you're gonna end up really messing up the piston ring, and you can mess up your cylinder too. So I like to just kind of use my hands and just kind of get it going, and then once I feel it's like kind of straight, I make sure this is as tight as it is. I can't get no more clicks out of it, and then I just push like quickly and swiftly. And see right there, one of my rings got caught. So you can see one of the O-rings got caught, but no damage got done. So now what I can do is I can just loosen this up again and then try again. If I would have did that with a hammer and that thing would have got caught, I would have damaged this motor really badly. You don't want to do that. You can also get the what is that? I think, is it Wiseco that makes it? I think a lot of companies are making them now. The sleeves that are for like a dedicated size. So like you'll get one sleeve. It'll be like an 81 mil. They'll have a sleeve for like 81.5, a sleeve for 82, and so on and so forth. The only thing is those sleeves are pretty pricey. I think last time I checked, they were like close to $100 each. Now, if you get one, if you're doing a lot of motors, then it's worth the investment. But if you're just a hobbyist like me and you're doing stuff on the side, it's not really worth spending that money. For me, this works just fine. Eventually, I will probably get one, but not right now. And there we go, guys. She is in and all the way down. Alright, so that's gonna be it. We went ahead and finished installing the pistons and the rods in Gabriel's B18B here, and yeah, it went really smoothly. It's been really tedious, you know, this past week. It's just been measuring clearances, checking piston ring gap, you know, grinding the piston rings down, and you know, making sure that the main thing was the main bearing clearances. So the main bearing clearances, that's kind of also one of the reasons why I haven't really been in here filming or anything like that. Apart from Tommy's motor being at the machine shop. But the main bearing clearance, if you look here, I've got one set of king bearings, set of evergreen bearings, another set of bearings up there somewhere. If you look inside this piston ring box here, look, there's a set of bearings in here. These are standards. Plus, there's another set of bearings right in here. So, those bearings that I just showed you right there, those are standard. The bearings that are in here are standard. The bearings that are in this king box right here are 25 undersize, and there's another set somewhere else. But so what we ended up having to run was those the King X series, just so I could get the clearance. And that right there, just getting the right main bearing oil clearance, that's basically what's like been kicking my ass for the past like week and a half with this car. So basically, once that was done and out the way, everything else is gonna be a breeze. And then obviously you got to check stretch on the rod bolts and stuff like that. That alone took me like 3 to 4 hours, because I had to sit there and figure out what torque spec I needed to use for every bolt to get it to the stretch that I wanted. And you can't use an uneven torque. So like, say you're shooting for 5 1,000ths of stretch on one bolt, and you get it on that one bolt. So the specs are anywhere from like basically 5 1,000ths to 6 1,000ths on this setup. So if you get 5 1,000ths on one, but you get 45 1,000 or 4.5 1,000ths on the other at say 50 foot-pounds, you can run that spec, I guess. But I mean, ideally I wanted to get the 5 1,000ths, so then you'd have to go up another 5 pounds, and then eventually you just got to kind of narrow it down. It doesn't have to be 100% exact. It pretty much depends on the type of builder that you are. You can run just a standard torque spec. ARP says you can run like 45 foot-pounds, but you won't get the ideal stretch. What ends up happening is under much higher load applications, when you stretch those bolts out, they actually clamp down. They get more clamping force, meaning that it kind of guarantees the integrity of that clamping force between your rod and your rod cap. Obviously, if you have a lot of load over time, I don't know if they might come loose or what it is, but you know, on a setup like this, it's gapped to where he can actually take this up to like 18 pounds if he wants to, 20 pounds if he wants to. And if he does eventually one day decide that he wants to bring this up to 18 pounds, then I know that those bolts have been torqued and have been stretched to the recommended specification. And I know that they're going to hold. I don't have to worry about them loosening out on him and a main cap coming apart and then a rod going out the block or bending and locking the motor up or whatever, because 9 times out of 10 with these B-series motors, the biggest weakness with them is the way that the rod bolts were designed. They don't have rod bolts, they have studs. And even if you do go aftermarket and you don't stretch the bolts properly, under a greater load, they could come apart. So with that being said, guys, if this is your first time watching my channel and you like what you saw, there's a lot of different content on this channel, because not only do I work on these, on Hondas and stuff, but if you see behind me right here, we're starting to dive into the Chevy world. You can see I have an LS hiding right there on the floor. That's a 5.3 liter LM7 out of like a 2001 Sierra. And what's it called? I picked that up for a really good deal. Eventually, once I get past all these projects and once Fuel Fest and everything is behind me, that thing's gonna go up on the stand and we're gonna tear into it and find out what's going on with it. Supposedly it was running when it was pulled. I'm very doubtful of that, but we'll see what happens when we get there. I haven't touched it yet because I want it to be a complete surprise. I want it to be genuine when I catch it on camera. So stay tuned for that if you're into Chevys. I'm also building a 262 4.3 liter. That's at the machine shop right now. So yeah, with that being said, if you like the video, make sure you hit like. It only takes a few seconds, guys. It doesn't cost you anything, and it helps the algorithm spread the videos to other people who like videos like yours, or like the videos that you like to watch. Also, don't forget, if you could, please leave a comment down below. Remember, guys, once we hit 1,000 subscribers, I am going to be doing some type of giveaway, whether it's some type of, I'm thinking of doing like maybe like a FORGED setup, or I don't know, some type of ECU engine management type of thing, type of deal. We'll see what we got going on. Not 100% sure yet if it's going to be new or used, or I might do like a turbo kit. I'll tell you what, this is what I'll do. If you guys made it to this part of the video and you watch this part of the video, go ahead and comment down below. Tell me what you think the giveaway should be. If I should piece together a turbo kit for like a K-Series. The only reason I say a K-Series is because I know there's a lot more guys out there running K-Series nowadays, just because of the fact that the B-Series are getting dumb expensive. D-Series, I'm not sure. H-Series, I feel like those are like the minors. Like, not a lot of people run with those. I feel like it's going to be between K and B. But I feel like more people are running Ks just because of the prices and the availability of the stuff with the B-Series. So comment down below. Let me know what you want me to do for a giveaway. Give me a few ideas, and that way I'll go ahead and set something up, because I don't want to give something away that nobody actually wants. I want you guys to actually participate. So make sure you comment down below. Let me know what I should get or what I should pick up for the 1,000 subscriber giveaway. And also make sure you turn the bell notification on, because with everything that I got going on right now, it's not guaranteed that I post all the time. Sometimes I post 3 times in 1 week. Sometimes I post 1 time in 3 weeks. Kind of sucks, but that's just how it is right now. I mean, if the channel keeps growing and the channel keeps doing what it does, then I'll start dedicating more time to the channel. And you know, once school ends, I actually only have 6 more classes, so I graduate in November. So after that, depending on what I'm doing at the time, you know, if the channel's growing enough, I might dedicate more time to this and, you know, apply myself more to doing this kind of work, building these motors and stuff like that. And I don't know, maybe start doing merch or start doing like car parts or whatever. We'll see. But if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. And also share with your friends, share on your social media, send it to your cousin, send it to your mom, send it to your grandpa, send it to your dog if your dog has social media. Just make sure that you guys help me out by sharing the videos. And yeah, with that being said, in the next video, one of 2 things is gonna happen. Either I get Tommy's 262 back. Actually, no, you know what the next video is gonna be? So the next video, so I have that carpet right there. I have a bunch of other stuff that's gonna go into the car. So my car is actually gonna get completely stripped down, and it's gonna get a complete makeover. And nothing to do with the engine bay, nothing to do with the engine, aside from the Garrett turbo that I have back there, but that's an easy swap. I'll cover that in a video also. But we're gonna do a lot of like interior cleaning and interior restoration. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to get the short block out the way. So when I come back Saturday, I'm gonna put the baffle, I'm gonna clean up the oil pan, I'm gonna do that stuff, get the short block complete, wrap all that up, and then I'm gonna get to work on my car so I can have it ready for Fuel Fest. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. I don't want to keep stretching out this video, so I'll let you guys go. Don't forget, comment down below. Let me know what you want me to do for the 1,000 subscriber giveaway. And with that being said, guys, take it easy. Catch you on the next one.